Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak as a panelist on this Zoom in celebration of International Day of Peace. I'll be speaking mostly in terms of why it's important for youth, why it's important for young people to engage in peace building, and putting a lot of emphasis on the importance of young people as peacemakers. I think for every challenge facing our societies and our communities, there is a pathway. To peace, and every person can be a peacemaker, no matter the creed, no matter the ethnicity, no matter the gender, and no matter the age. The role of youth in shaping and achieving peace is unquestionable. And of course, there's a lot of young people engaged in a diversity of different advocacy, basically, in a lot of different services in terms of building and making their communities better. The endurance of youth under arduous conditions, their vitality, their vigor, their ability to adapt themselves to local situations, their ability to meet new challenges, and to impart their warmth and their enthusiasm to those they come into, to work with, combined with, the standard of conduct shaped by spiritual and moral values, make young people potent instruments for the execution of peace-building, peacemaking projects. So through these distinctive qualities, youth can become the spearhead of any enterprise and the driving force of any undertaking in which young people participate, whether local, national, regional, and of course, globally. With that said, I would like to begin with making a few comments on the significant ways in which we youth, with our idealism and our energy, creativity, and our drive, can help fulfill the aim of establishing universal peace. So like many young people already have, there are still more young people that must recognize, and I guess society as a whole must recognize the potential that youth have, and most importantly, recognize the most valuable role of young people in achieving world peace. So here are a few ways in which youth of Oceania can hasten to bring about lasting world peace. First, to bring about world peace, young people must develop an understanding and a conviction of the principle of the organic oneness of humanity. And this is referring to the unity among all peoples. And by expressing this belief through action. Now we're talking about, what are some of the principles that shape peace? Well, I think a fundamental principle to shape peace is this conviction of the oneness of mankind. If we do not believe that all people are one, then peace is impossible. If we do not believe that all people are one, then our actions will fail to achieve peace. Secondly, to bring about peace, young people must work for a systematic eradication of all forms of prejudice and discrimination. The key to this is to be aware of our own prejudices and then consistently work on getting rid of such prejudices within ourselves. Even some of the great work we can do, or even, some of the amazing work that we do to our communities can also blind us from our own prejudices. And so I think it's really important that we not only just look outwards as to what is needed externally from ourselves, and it's also important for us not to also recognize the prejudices and discriminations outside of ourselves that's happening in society, but it's very important that we too bring attention and have awareness of our own prejudices and our own discrimination. It's important that you know your own prejudices in order to create peace. And I think Elvis has really touched on, the importance of developing this inner peace before we could impact peace externally. Thirdly, I wanted to highlight that to bring about peace, young people must attempt education in its totality. And what I mean by this is that, education is not only in the classroom. Education is not only just about developing our intellect, but rather education in its totality is about, spiritual, moral, intellectual, emotional, and physical education of the whole person. And we can develop this in two ways. And the first one is first and foremost, through the development of moral and spiritual values taught within, your own respective religions. Within your own religions, we need to think about all the qualities that it teaches us. Qualities such as love and compassion, justice, truthfulness, and so forth. And all these qualities of virtues must mold our characters and must be expressed through our daily actions. Secondly, the second way is that through education and training in schools or whatever learning institution, develop our talents and our abilities that unlock our potentialities in such a way that we as young people become equipped to practice a trade or whatever profession and whatever form of service to the community, and also through gainful employment, contribute to the development of our communities, our nations, regions, and of course, our global community. I think the goal of world peace is more than possible. I know we are confronted with so much conflict in the world in all sorts of areas and all sorts of issues, and now we are confronted with the COVID-19 pandemic. But this goal of world peace is more than possible. It is inevitable, I believe. And the light at the end of the tunnel must be for youth a challenge to their devotion to build a better world in which all economic barriers will be demolished, racial animosity will be extinguished, and all sorts of inequalities that we are encountering disappear. And so with that said, as youth, our role in peacemaking does not start on the outside of us, but rather begins within ourselves. And through selfless service, we can generally contribute to building and achieving peace together. And so I think to end off, I can't emphasize enough the importance of society as a whole to not only recognize but to also believe in the limitless potential that young people have in contributing to peacemaking. And I think that also is a important element towards shaping peace, is to recognizing the potential of young people and women and girls. I guess just recognizing the potential of everyone as a peacemaker is a key value, is a key aspect in shaping shaping peace. So thank you.